who were in charge of security in various places of the capital, centering BNP's rally at Noyapolton yesterday. However, policemen on duty were attacked in Kakrail, Shantinagar, Segunbagicha, Polton, Vijayanagar and many other places. Residence of the Chief Justice was also attacked in Kakrail, and police boxes were vandalized and set on fire at various places. During the BNP attack, one policeman was killed and 41 others were injured. Amirul Islam Parvez, policeman on duty, was brutally beaten to death by the terrorists of BNP. BTV's correspondent reports mourning is now going on at Tangail House of slain policeman Amirul Islam Parvez.
বিচার চাই আমার ভাইয়ের বিচার চাই আমার ভাইরে কুবা মারছে আমরা বিচার চাই আমার পাঁচটা অদম ফালাতে গেছে পাঁচটা অদম রে পালছে কেরা পালবো অদম বাড়ি ভাঙ্গা নদী ভাঙ্গুনি আমরা কেরা এই বাঁচাইবো এই পরিবার কেরা বাঁচাইবো আমিরুল বাঁচাইছে আমার সোনার টুকে বাঁচাইছে রে এই কেরা কি করবো রে আমার সোনার টুকে মরে গেল কিবা করে মাঝে কুবা মারছে তা করে আমি বিচার চাই
At least 37 journalists were attacked while performing professional duties during clashes centering mass rally of BNP at Noyapolton in the capital. Former member of Bangladesh Federal Union of Journalists BFUJ, Rafiq Bhuiya, was seriously injured. He was taken to Burden Hospital where he succumbed to his injuries today while undergoing treatment. Journalist leaders condemned the incident leading to the reporter's death and demanded exemplary punishment to people responsible. Meanwhile, a helper named Naeem was killed while he was asleep in a bus which was torched in Demra, centering BNP programs. Another worker named Robiul is receiving treatment in hospital. Leaders and activists of BNP set fire on vehicles at various places, including the capital, centering the rally. BNP Jamaat workers attacked policemen after calling the supporters through the mic of a mosque in Magopara area in Bogura today. Several people, including 2 policemen and children, were injured in the attack. At that time, the Hartal supporters attacked Bogura Chaudhary Upazila Executive Officer Feroza Parveen and 2 minibus carrying patients. The incident took place at Magopara on Dhaka-Rangpur Highway at around 12:30 p.m. this noon. 3 journalists were also injured in the attack. Eyewitnesses said BNP Jamaat activists started picketing on the highway since morning. They vandalized some buses, trucks and auto rickshaws. They also attacked UNO Feroza Parveen on her way back after visiting a temple in an official vehicle. At the same time, 2 minibuses carrying patients were vandalized. 3 patients of Jaipurhat who were in the minibus were injured in the attack. Getting information, 2 teams of Bogura Chaudhary Police Station and DB Police reached the spot. The picketers also pelted bricks and stones at their cars. Awami League leader Jahangir Hussain was hacked to death by BNP activists at Mahendranagar area in Lalmonirhat today. He died at Rangpur Medical College Hospital while undergoing treatment this noon. In the morning, Jahangir Hussain and several others started a peace march during BNP's Hartal. At that time, miscreants attacked them. Jahangir Hussain and some others were severely injured in the attack. Later, he succumbed to his injuries. Late Jahangir Hussain is the son of Azizur Rahman of Berpanga under Gokunda Union in Lalmonirhat. He was a member of Mahendranagar Ward Awami League. Meanwhile, to cover up the misdeeds, the BNP leaders presented a person claiming to be the advisor of US President Joe Biden to the journalists at the party office yesterday evening. However, the official of the United States Embassy in Dhaka, Stephen Evely, said that the information that someone from the embassy went to BNP office on Saturday is a rumor. Meanwhile, the U.S. Embassy in a statement condemned the violence in Dhaka on October the 28th. They said the deaths of policemen, political activists and burning of hospitals were unacceptable. The embassy statement also noted that violence of October 28th will be reviewed for possible visa bans. Awami League and its associated organizations held peace rally across the country, including the capital today, protesting BNP Jamaat's Hartal, anarchy and anti-national conspiracy. Dhaka City South Awami League held a peace rally at 23 Bangabandhu Avenue in the capital at noon. Speaking on the occasion, Information and Broadcasting Minister Dr. Hassan Mahmood said that BNP has attacked common people and police like Israeli forces. They are enemies of humanity and enemies of the country. The minister said BNP will not be given the opportunity to occupy the streets. People of the country will strongly resist them. Addressing the rally, Awami League leaders said those who kill people, destroy properties in the name of rally will be given a befitting reply.
হাসপাতালে হামলা চালিয়ে 800 মানুষকে হত্যা করেছে। এই বিএনপি জামাত একটি শব্দ উচ্চারণ করে নাই, তারা বরং ইসরায়েলি বাহিনীর অনুকরণে তারা পুলিশ হাসপাতালে হামলা চালিয়েছে। এরা মানবতার শত্রু, এরা এই দেশের মানুষের শত্রু। ইমানদার মুসলমানদের বলবো, ইসলামী দলগুলোকে বলবো, এই দেশের মানুষকে বলবো, হিন্দু মুসলমান বৌদ্ধ খ্রিস্টান সবাইকে বলবো, এরা মানবতার শত্রু, এরা মানবতার শত্রু, এরা ইসলামের শত্রু শুধু নয়, এরা মানবতার শত্রু। এদের বিরুদ্ধে আমাদের প্রতিরোধ গড়ে তুলতে হবে। দুষ্ট সন্ত্রাসী এই হত্যাকারীদের যদি বিচারিত করতে না পারি বাংলাদেশ থেকে, বাংলাদেশে শান্তি আসবে না। বাংলার শান্তির জন্য জননেত্রী শেখ হাসিনাকে আবার প্রধানমন্ত্রী বানাবার জন্য আমাদের কাজ করতে হবে। এই কাজে আমরা সবাই ঐক্যবদ্ধভাবে কাজ করব।
Dhaka City South Awami League President Abu Ahmad Manafi presided over the meeting. It was also addressed by Awami League Advisory Council member Habibur Rahman Shiraj, Presidium members Dr. Mustafa Jalal Mohiuddin, Advocate Kamrul Islam, Joint General Secretary Mahbubul Alam Hanif, Office Secretary Barrister Biplab Burua, and Dhaka City South Awami League General Secretary Humayun Kabir. The speakers called upon the leaders and activists to be vigilant on the streets until the next election. Now, international news. Israeli air and ground attacks continue on Gaza overnight. At least 3 Palestinians killed in overnight Israel raids in the occupied West Bank. Prime Minister Netanyahu says the war in Gaza will be long and difficult, with Israel intensifying its aerial raids and progressing to the next phase of operations. More than 8,000 Palestinians have been killed in Gaza in Israeli attacks since October the 7th. More than 1,400 people killed in Israel. UN says civil order starting to collapse in Gaza after thousands break into food warehouses in Gaza. Telecommunications gradually being restored to the Gaza Strip after a communications blackout cut the enclave off from the rest of the world. Hamas's leader in the Gaza Strip, Yahya Sinwar, says the group is ready for an immediate prisoner swap with Israel. Reports say the UN Security Council will hold a meeting on the Palestinian-Israeli conflict tomorrow. The permanent mission of Brazil, which chairs the Security Council in October, announced on Saturday. Hundreds of thousands of demonstrators rallied in cities across Europe, the Middle East, the United States and Asia to show support for the Palestinians amid brutal Israeli military onslaught on the Gaza Strip. In one of the biggest marches, large crowds marched through the centre of British capital London to demand the government of Prime Minister Rishi Sunak's call for a ceasefire. Elsewhere in Europe, people took to the streets of Copenhagen, Switzerland, Rome and Stockholm. Thousands of pro-Palestinian protesters poured onto the streets of Brooklyn, New York's largest district on Saturday, to voice their anger at Israel's bombardment of the Gaza Strip. In Malaysia, a large crowd of demonstrators chanted slogans outside the US Embassy in Kuala Lumpur. An estimated 1 lakh people rallied in the southern Indian state of Kerala in solidarity with the Palestine. Addressing hundreds of thousands of supporters at a huge rally in Istanbul, Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan said Israel was an occupier and repeated his stance about Hamas not being a terrorist organization. Protests were also held in the Iraqi capital Baghdad. Palestinian protesters in Hebron in the occupied West Bank called for a global boycott of Israeli products. Now some other international news in brief. Russian forces shot down 36 Ukrainian drones over the Black Sea and the Crimean Peninsula overnight, Moscow's defense ministry said Sunday.
To counter the defense forces, to ensure that our military is always in touch and can effectively coordinate the work of their unit.
Taiwan considers its ability to counter a Chinese invasion attempt with lessons learned from Israel-Gaza war and Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Australia's trade minister says he is hopeful of striking a free trade deal with the European Union ahead of talks in Japan this weekend, more than 5 years after negotiations began. Mexico was struggling to recover from an extraordinarily powerful hurricane Otis, which claimed 39 lives and provoked widespread power, water and telephone outages in Acapulco. Japan has logged the 1,000th case of organ donations from brain-dead people, 26 years after the country's organ transplant law came into force in 1997, according to the Japan Organ Transplant Network. Now, news on sports. India beat England by 100 runs in the ICC ODI World Cup in Lucknow. Chasing the victory target of 230 runs, England were all out on 129 runs in 34 overs, 5 balls. Mohammad Sami bagged 4 wickets while Jasprit Bumrah took 3 wickets for India. Earlier, India batted first and scored 229 runs for 9 in the stipulated 50 overs. Rohit Sharma scored 87 runs and was adjudged man of the match. And now to end the bulletin, a recap of the top stories. Imam of Masjid Nabawi, Sheikh Dr. Abdullah bin Abdurrahman al-Buaijan, calls on Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, describing Bangladesh as a second country. Dhaka University confers Honorary Doctor of Law degree on Bangabandhu posthumous. The country will have to move forward with the spirit of liberation war by keeping achievement intact, says Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. Jatiyo সংসদ passes 3 separate bills, one on Bangladesh film certification and 2 others on setting up of 2 public universities. BNP turning into a more dangerous terrorist organization day by day. Obaid al-Qadir calls on BNP to adopt the path of peaceful election by leaving the path of violence. Terrorists of BNP carried out attacks on hospitals like the Israeli forces, sparing not even the residence of Chief Justice, says Dr. Hassan Mahmood. BNP has returned to its politics of arson attacks and anarchy like in the past. Police have been facing the situation with utmost patience, says Home Minister Saduzzaman Khan. Israel expands ground operations in Gaza as death toll of Palestinians surpasses 8,000. And India beat England by 100 runs in ODI Cricket World Cup in Lucknow. And that's all from the newsroom for the moment. Thank you indeed for joining us. And